Hello, friends. This is Raj Kapoor. And today, in our group, The Millionaire Path, I have two of my great friends. And I can tell you how excited I am right now to bring Bill and Donna. I have known Bill and Donna for a long time now. With Donna, especially, I've known her now for 5 or 6 years or even more. And Bill for at least 2 to 3 years. I worked with them where? At IBGR Network. Well, when IBGR had started,
Hmm.
it was a radio show, and I was the third person in the team. Now, the amazing thing, IBGR in last couple of years has reached out to almost 183 countries where people are listening to the radio shows on a consistent basis. There are over 50 coaches and consultants who are actually bringing some incredible material. But why am I bringing them here? Because I have teamed up with them for something wonderful that we are going to bring to you. And I am myself amazed at the material that has been created and the actual process that has been created to help all the coaches and consultants to build their business. Now, this has not come just overnight. This has been work in process for, I would say, over 2 plus years. A lot of hard work and sweat has gone into it. A lot of interviews have happened. A lot of coaches, lot of number of coaches, consultants have been tapped into to see where those pain points are, what is going on that so many of the coaches and consultants are struggling. And from that stemmed this beautiful business idea. And I'm not going to go over it in detail, because I will give it to the experts who are there. I am a part of it. So I am going to be now giving it over to Donna. Donna, my great friend, you have done a wonderful job, and Bill, you too. And I'm just glad that I'm here with you. And let's talk to the listeners as to what exactly they are going to be getting. But before that, maybe a little bit of a history, Donna, that you can give on IBGR. And then, Bill, I definitely would like you to give a little bit more detail because your past is so impressive that you have worked with so many high-end people that it is just amazing as to what we are bringing to you.
Okay,
Donna.
thank you.
Thanks, Raj. It's so exciting to be here talking to everyone because it is my passion to really help other coaches and consultants build their business and get their voice heard in the world. Kind of funny how it all started. Bill and I were working together on a different radio show. When I say working together, we were producing a radio show at a place called WNTW in Chester, Virginia. It was a terrestrial radio station. Bill, you were the general manager, as I recall, and doing a business turnaround at the radio station. And so we did a couple of shows together over several months. Then the station sold, and you looked at me and said, "What do we do now?" And you had this idea for 20 years, 18 years, a long time, of how to get coaching and consulting into the world. Do you want to tell a little bit about that?
Yeah, I think the stimulus there is when you and I were working together at NTW. We were going to take it global and use the terrestrial station to take the message out, and we were going to shift the programming over from political general news to a total business focus. And they sold the station, and we had 2/3 of the business plan written, and it was like, well, why give up now? We learned a lot, and we felt like that this business model would work very, very well because the vast majority of entrepreneurs out there just not getting any help. And if you built a radio station where they could listen for free and get most of the things they need in order to start, grow, or exit a business, depending upon their growth stage and what they want, we thought it was a no-brainer. And so we started in January of 2020, went on the air in April of 2020. Raj was the first person to join us, really. It was Donna and I on the air, and then Raj joined us. And Raj is the reason that we're so successful today.
Yes, yes, for seeing the vision and tapping in and bringing all that you had to that. Raj, we're excited to be here because what you had talked about, hinting to a program, and for me, it's been several years in the making. I joined the John Maxwell team at the 5th anniversary with them. It was 6 years ago, I want to say. And I got really good at coaching. And I did this certification program and that certification program. And I had some success, but I kept wondering why I wasn't having the massive success that I knew I could, the potential. And what was interesting at the beginning of WNTW, we had one host, which was Bill, and we had one listener, was me. And what I brought to the partnership was coaching, the coaching mindset. And what Bill brought was the consulting mindset. And as I started listening to him about how to build a business and the failure points here and there, all of a sudden light bulbs clicked for me on what I was missing. And Raj, you and I've had these conversations. I'm really good at what I do. I don't know how to build a business. I'm really good at what I do. I don't know how to build a business. And so I would just keep getting more certifications, figuring that I just didn't know what to do. But really what I learned from Bill is there are things that you should do at each stage of business, and there's failure points along the way. And Bill, you know both sides of it. You've worked with coaching companies. You've been a consultant for what, a day or two?
Yeah, a day or two. Yeah, I think the biggest thing.
How long has it been? What was this last one? Putting you on the spot. 43 years. That's a
43
lot of
years in the
consulting.
industry.
You
And
work with
so,
some big names too.
yeah, 2/3 of that was spent doing corporate consulting. And so now I'm going to embarrass myself. I worked in manufacturing, implementing lean manufacturing techniques for General Motors and Delphi Automotive, which was a tier 1 supplier at GM. We revamped the entire performance management system for Glaxo Pharmaceuticals. We tried to help Kmart in improving their retail operation without a lot of help or success there. In hospitality services, we worked with Ritz-Carlton to improve their service game, if that was possible. Technology, I was part of one of the early consultants in America Online about 25 years ago when they were hot. And we also worked with IBM. I worked with United Nations development programs, working with non-government agencies. But I kind of cut my teeth working with the Ken Blanchard companies because they were a coaching firm, training coaching firm. And I think one of the challenges you got, and this is, I don't want to make anybody feel bad about wherever your coaching certifications came from, but one of the challenges that coaching companies have is that they're knowledge centric. And what that means is that if there's a problem, their solution is to come up with a new training program or really a new educational program and a new certification, which doesn't necessarily address what people need. And so we started the Blanchard's first consulting operation. And in consulting business, it's all application. Okay. In other words, you don't look at what people know and do I need to educate them further? You go, here's the tools that you need. Now, if we need to train people on to use the tools, that's appropriate, but you don't go a second beyond what you need because it's all application. And that's one of the things that struck me when I was looking at, just for example, Maxwell. It reminded my days at Blanchard, and that it's a mindset problem. That's really what it comes down to. They're not bad people. They're not trying to do bad things, but they don't look at the world the same way as those of us who are charged with, you got to implement something. And I get hired to fix something. It better work, because if it doesn't work, then I don't have a job and I don't have a reputation. So that's what I picked up along the way. And so the last third of my career, I've been focused solely on small business because we are the world's economy. We are the most important
heroes of our society. What's that quote?
Absolutely. Yeah.
What's that quote, Bill? Entrepreneurs are the heroes of our society.
Yeah, because they take the risk that nobody else has the willingness to take.
They put their soul into the game.
That's right.
57% of people,
57% of the people on planet Earth work for a company of 20 or fewer people. That's how important we are.
Wow, that's powerful, Bill. Powerful, Bill. And Bill has just touched the tip of the iceberg with the amount, with the work that he has done with the top-notch consultants of the country. He
Can
has
I just interject? Because I believe there's a lot of people that read Think and Grow Rich. And in the earlier pages of Think and Grow Rich, there's a guy named George Eastman. Uncle George, Bill?
Uncle George. Yeah, in fact, if you get time for a quick story, I didn't put him on the list, and I should have. As a tech firm, I was working with Eastman Kodak out of Rochester, and I was competing against McKinsey at the time, and we were running a small consulting firm, which was difficult to take on the big boys. And I went in one morning, and we all had to do the dog and pony show, and I just said, "Stop! I'm the guy you got to hire. I had a dream last night. Uncle George came to me, and he told me to come in here and tell you to hire me." And I got the job.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Guys, now you know why I brought Donna and Bill here. That's one of the things. And it is, so we are not just looking at their credentials. The main thing is the results. And I just showed you the results. I talked about the IBGR and the growth it has had. Now, one thing which I'm going to tell you very clearly is that I have been in this business for now 8+ years with coaching. I was a chief financial officer before, and I was working with nonprofit organizations, turning them around. But main thing, my passion was always entrepreneurship, and always has been. So I've had businesses all my life, and many of the businesses have done well, but some of them have not. And so those were the learning curves that I had. But when I started on this path, one of the things I started doing was to talk to coaches, to interview them, to see why some of them, or most of them, I would say right now, are at 5 figures. Because the average that I was reading is that a coach makes between $34,000 to $64,000, where 65 somewhat is an average, they say. But you know what? There are quite a few I know who are making 6 figures, very few 7 figures, and very, very few 8 figures. So what was the difference? Why are most at 5 figures when they can reach the 6-figure, 7-figure, or 8-figure mark? So I said, let me talk to people as to what they're thinking. So what I found was that most of the coaches are really good in their trade, like Donna said, really good. I mean, they know their stuff. They are able to change lives of people, like really, and they feel really invigorated once they have done these things, and they get that passion and everything. But the problem is how to build that business behind it, that entrepreneurial spirit that you have, that you brought out. So most of the things that came out from my interviews was mindset, but most important was how to build a business.
Business
They don't
acumen.
know the actual techniques, and then take what action at what level to scale to what level. That's what the problem was. So most of them remain at the startup level, because there's a startup level, a growth level, and a scaling level. But what we are bringing to you as a team now, and that is where I would like Donna and Bill to talk more about as to what exactly we're bringing and how it can literally, seriously turn around your business and your life, because they're all work together. Please, Donna, take
Yeah,
over.
I got so excited when you said that, because I know for me, excited maybe wasn't the right word, but I just the interjection of, I want to stop feeling like an imposter. And how many coaches say, well, I'm a coach, I'm not a business owner. I don't know how to build. I as a business coach, I would coach business owners, and they're like, the business piece, I don't want the business piece. I just want to help people. But you have to have the business piece if you want to scale, if you want to build to where you're going. And so some of the things that we noticed that we put together in these actionable items is the idea that there's a signature program that you're branding, not only you, but also taking whatever certification you have and not using that name, but you're coming up with your own intellectual property, with your own idea. Bill, do you want to talk a little bit about that stage in putting together an offer?
Yeah, I mean, it's it would be fortunate, and most of the people that have been certified by somebody, because it was even true back when I was working at Blanchard, you can't walk in and say, I'm Blanchard certified or I'm Maxwell certified, and that's going to get you any business. Because if it did, it would. And so the certifications are good to have because it says you may know what you're talking about, but it's going to take far more than that. And I can tell you that if I was to look at this from a consulting perspective, not a coach, because I'll tell you what, managing a number of coaches is the same as managing a number of consultants. And the first thing you got to look at is how to increase your hours. How can I increase the number of hours I work? Then I got to take a look at increasing what I charge per hour. And then I want to look at how do I productize myself. And so really the formula that I would use is what's your unique sauce? What makes you different than everybody else? Part of that's your character, your upbringing. It could be what industries you worked in the past. Your prior experience really works because let's say you're working in healthcare and now you want to go into coaching. Well, you've got some naturals built in right there. And instead of going after a different industry, let's go after healthcare first and then build upon that. And so it's up to you to kind of develop a brand of who you are that mixes your certifications with your unique qualities. We're all unique. We all have different things that we can offer. And I know that I would not make a very good coach. It's not in my personality. I make a better consultant. And Donna knows that because we talk about it all the time. But I know myself, and I think that one of the things that I like to help people with is kind of know themselves better to say, this is my sweet spot. Then let's go for this. And let's come up with a price per hour that's reasonable you can make money on, that will get you in. And then let's work on selling as many hours as we can. And then once we do that, once you start maxing out your calendar, what do you get the right to do? You get the right to raise your price. And that's what Raj is talking about, is if you're selling just hours, getting to $100,000, $150,000, $200,000 a year is difficult until you've sold the hours. Then you increase what you charge. I can tell you right now, a good consultant makes about $250,000 a year pre-tax. There's no reason why a good coach cannot make the same amount of money. Now you're in a different game, and now you're talking about how to productize, how to take my knowledge and turn it into intellectual property that now becomes mine. So I'm not just selling John Maxwell or Ken Blanchard or somebody else. I have a mix of my own things in the gaps, the things that these providers don't have. There's gaps in there, and you provide the gaps, and you can have a very, very healthy practice no matter how large you want to build it.
And one of the things that you guys say things and I just like, and then I have to wait patiently. but
why now?
No, because I want to let you finish speaking. But Bill, one of the things you say it on some of your shows, I've heard it several times over the last 2 years, and every single time it's still like, she's so right. When you talk about, if you have a product and it's sitting on the shelf collecting dust, you can put it for sale. You can reduce the price and say, 50% off sale, get it now, whatever. But what do you say about those of us who sell time?
Well, you can't sell last week. So it builds a totally different urgency in the firm. Imagine having a sale going to your existing customer base or prospects and saying half off of last week. They're going to think you lost your mind. And so you really, in the coaching consulting business, you got to run a different business because it's like time is like milk. It spoils. And if you don't sell next week, you've lost it. That time is forever lost. And if your sales cycle is like a month, then you've got to be working a month ahead of time, because I can't sell tomorrow. It's impossible to sell. I could have sold tomorrow in June, but I can't sell it in July. And so you really got to change your whole. Well, you can't. Well, I could have sold tomorrow in June because I had enough time to find somebody, work the account, because most people are not going to go, oh yeah, I'm going to buy tomorrow. Now, we know that's not true. Yeah. Occasionally, you love those clients that say that, fine, let's start. But for the most part, you've got to really work these accounts in your sales process to where you get them saying, okay, I'm ready to start. And every organization, every industry has a sales cycle. In my industry, in large corporate consulting, it's a 90-day cycle. No matter what I did, I couldn't reduce it below 90 days. So I had to be working a quarter in advance. In January, I'm selling April. And so if I want gigs in January, I better be selling that in October. And so it would, you know, when you change your orientation on time, that I think is really going to make a huge difference, because you just can't do anything about next week. Now, if you sell products, yeah, you can, you run a sale.
But you can't
Wonderful.
sell last week. That gets me every time.
No, that is so powerful. That is so powerful. And many of the people just don't understand this because they're always working in their business and not on their business.
Mhm.
And once you're inside the picture, you do not know what to do. This is so such a clarity. I mean, seriously, well, you put it so simply. And one thing, friends, what I have noticed since I started my own coaching business and working with the coaches and consultants, overall, it is not just the mindset. Mindset is the most important and very important piece of it. But what I was realizing while going through this whole process, that you do have to have the right mindset. Or I would say, from my perspective, because I'm a mindset expert, is the wealth mindset, which means that imposter syndrome. How much can I charge? All those things have to get out of the mind, because the value that you are providing to people is immense. And we will talk all about that in the program, as to how you can shift that mindset about the value that you provide to people and what you can charge. That's number one, because it's all about the perceived value. That's what we will teach. Now, the second thing that comes in is that it's not just the mindset. What else is there? Well, what about the business acumen? You need to know how to run the business, how to build a business. What
You need to
sort of a
claim it
business
that you're
do
a
you need?
business owner and not
Yeah.
be like, oh my gosh, no.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What about finances? I mean, it's your business. You just cannot outsource everything. And what about marketing? What about sales? These are all the things. And finally, it comes down to techniques and strategies. So what we are bringing to you today is not just one or two people helping you with your business. We are bringing in a whole team,
A dream team.
a dream team. And Donna,
Raj, do you not hear that all the time? If I just had somebody to help me,
yes.
I don't know what I'm doing. If I just had somebody that could just build it with me.
And so what is happening out there is, right now, we get different courses, a course on how to create a sale, a course on how to understand my finances, a course on mindset, a course on this, a course on that, like what we talked about. We keep on taking more and more courses, learning more and more to see something finally will stick, something will help me. Well, we are bringing everything to you in a package. And now that is what I would like Donna and Bill to talk about. What package are we bringing to you? How can it help you? And let me be very clear here. This is not for everyone. This is not for everyone. We are only looking for a certain number of people who are serious, who really want to make a change in their business, who really want to make a shift in their business and just not be happy with the status quo. We need people who are serious here, serious. And we are going to be having, as a starting point, some exceptional offer that I don't think we will be ever able to offer later, ever. So without going into anything more, I would love for Donna and Bill to go into the little bit of a detail, and then we will come back again with more details later on other lives. But at least today, let's talk about what exactly are we talking about.
So the course is called the Fast Track to Profitability, and I think that speaks for itself. But there are stages that go along with it. What we're doing when I talk about the dream team is we have three consultants and a wealth mindset coach, Raj, coming together and working side by side with the cohort members for 6 months. 6 months is the length of the program. And so you start off with your dream team of in the marketing space and designing what we call dream to market. And it's taking an idea, It's taking all the knowledge that you have and turning that into a signature offer. Then when you have that signature offer, at the end of the 3 weeks with this consultant in marketing, everybody gets actual collateral, actual marketing pieces in their hand. They talk about, I know I need to have some kind of lead generation, some download of some sort. You're going to get that. I know I need to have an email sequence, nurture campaign. You're going to get that. We have a platform that produces this for you, and then you can tweak it or tailor it for any offer that you have. But I want to do a webinar. Well, how do you set up that sequence? And so you get 3 weeks on getting really clear on the branding and the design of this idea that you have to create your signature offer. And then you get a week with our Raj. and Raj, you're going to help them really start to put it into the world. A Facebook group like you've created, you're going to share your secrets of how to get that Facebook group started and get people into the Facebook group. Not only, it's one thing to have a Facebook group, but nobody in it, but what good is that? So that it completes the first month in the program. And then it's going over to Bill, which is stage 2, calling Create to Automate with our operations consultant. And you want to talk a little bit about that one, Bill?
Yeah, I think the task here is not that difficult. One is there are many things you could do. And from the first piece, between marketing and branding and then working with Raj, is I'm going to come back and go, okay, what is it? What's the thing that makes you unique? Because let's build on that. If you've read any of the works that's been done in the last 20 years on entrepreneurship, Eric Ries wrote a great book on working in the business versus working on, which Raj cited. Also, there was another book on building the lean organization. And it was a great piece in there about you build a minimally viable offer. Your first offer has to be scaled down, has to be small, has to be sweet, has to be targeted. And so I'll help you with, of all the things you could do, and 10 years from now, you'll be doing all of them. But right now, today, if you're going to start generating money quickly, and good money means not how much you bring in, but how much you keep, then what is that? And how do I build the infrastructure to deliver that? And not only in terms of delivering the coaching services or the marketing and sales, because that's all process-based, but also the back office. So my focus is going to be on a platform, you building a platform that is scalable. So if you're doing $10,000 worth of business or $100,000 worth of business, it doesn't matter. You've built the platform, or for that matter, $1 million worth of business. The platform is there and in place. And part of that is going to be giving you an accurate handle on your costs, which is going to be imperative, because then and by the way, I'm going to be followed with Raj, and he's going to pick up where I left off in $1 Million Mindset. And then you're going to be going to somebody who spent a living being a chief financial officer. And this guy knows numbers. So Donna, you want to take it back and talk about what's going to happen with Jeremy?
Yeah, if anybody saw me taking notes when you said it's not what I bring in, it's what I keep. I set up my coaching practice as an LLC. And the first couple of years, I was super excited at tax time because I was bringing in money and I was making money. And then I saw that there was a negative number at the end on my taxes. And I was like, how did this happen? I had no idea how that happened, that I was actually paying my clients for me to do their services. And so what the final piece to this is going, you're laughing, Bill, the final piece to this is really saying, how do I price this so that at the end of the day, I'm making money and not paying somebody else for my time? And at some point, how do I pay myself? And for those of us that had wanted to quit a job, leave a job, how much do I have to have in reservoir set aside before that can, how do I make that transition from my day job to doing this full time? And so what Jeremy's going to do through this process called Price to Profit is take the cohort members through those steps over 3 weeks to get really clear, to make sure that you're pricing your profit. Do you want to be a Walmart or do you want to be a Nordstrom? It's okay to be both. in the coaching world, a life coach tends to be low price for less, you know, they tend to not be priced as higher as an executive coach working with corporations. And it's not because one is worse than the other. It's because of the nature of the selling proposition, is because how the business is formed. And if you have a passion for life coaching, that's awesome. But most life coaches can't get $500 an hour. It just doesn't happen because of the clientele that their passion is to work with. So it's getting really clear on the numbers, which have scared me a lot in the early days, because I'm not a financial person. I'm a good coach. I didn't know the numbers. And that's why at the end of the year at tax time, I was not really happy with what was going on until I
Donna,
learned.
that's for most of the coaches, by the way, who I have interviewed. Most of them are in the same realm, by the way, in the same arena. Yeah.
Yeah. And so when I started learning how to run a business and learning about the failure points and how there's formulas for doing all of this. And there's actually ways to do that. You know, I brought into a lot of the courses on how to get this all set up. And I was put in a Facebook group of thousands, and I looked at the talking head videos, and I still didn't know what I needed to know, because I needed somebody to help me. So that's really the course. It is 3 consultants. You get 3 weeks with each one. It's called Fast Track to Profitability because it's getting to work side by side with a consultant who has done this not only in their own business, but has worked with other clients, some of them very high paying clients and high vis clients like Bill was mentioning. And then also getting the wealth mindset piece to it. Raj, you're invaluable to this whole thing, and getting that implementation. Once you've designed it with the consultants, you have to implement it, or it's just going to be sitting on a shelf. And so we really feel that it's the complete package. Bill, you've done a lot of research. There's nothing like this out there.
No, as a matter of fact, when we put this together, we looked at all of the incubators. That's the term we're applying to it out there. And so we looked at what they were training or helping with. And so we're compatible with that. But really, the big thing is that most of those incubators, those professional come here and will help you grow your company, are only concerned about you if you've got a high growth payoff. In other words, you're a tech startup and they can sell you for, 50 million, then they're interested in you. But if you're just going to start a standard business, there's nobody out there. So what we did is we designed it around an incubator that would be able to get a company to what's called a unicorn status, which that is $1 billion valuation. Only we've taken that and we're applying it to your business. Now, if you want to be $1 billion company, we'll tell you what they do. But if $1 million will work, that is also wonderful. I mean, get that first $1 million and then really start dreaming.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Raj, can I tell who we're looking for?
Just please. Yes.
Just 15, only 15 people. That's 1 and a 5, 15, or maybe that's backwards. I don't know. but we want a small group so that you get that side-by-side individualized attention in your business. It's not going to be, if 16 people apply, that's fantastic. The 16th person can go in the next iteration. We are very firm on just 15 people, 15 coaches, 15 coaches with a dream who know that they have more potential than they're currently creating. If that's you, 15 who know there's more out there, who know that you have what it takes, but you just don't know how to do it, to put you next to, side by side, a marketing consultant, an operations consultant, a finance consultant, and Raj for 6 months.
And Donna.
Oh yeah, I'll be around too.
Absolutely. And Donna is, by the way, Donna is a very, very successful coach. She has done some wonderful shifts in people, which we are not talking about today.
No, let's keep the
Herself in
focus
her
off
own
of me
right is a
today.
very successful.
Well, you got
also a very successful radio show host.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is each participant we have enough that each one of us only going to handle about 3 people. So you're going to get as close to a one-on-one
Yeah.
Yeah, it won't be a group call. It won't be, you're in a Facebook group and there's 1,000 people in there. Anybody who went to college, it's not physics 101 where you're sitting there with 100 people trying to copy what's on the board. Okay. And turn to your neighbor going, do you know what the hell they're talking about?
Yeah.
And they don't know either. It's
Yep.
it's personal, and it's personal to us because it's why we built the radio station.
Mhm. Yeah, it's part of our vision and our mission to help other businesses grow. And we feel there's a multiplier effect when we get coaches building strong businesses, and then you multiply it by going out to work with the business owners, especially, and working with the individuals. It's a multiplier effect for us, which is another reason why we want to go and talk to coaches to get them with the business acumen that they are missing in their business plan right now. So this course is 6 months working with our individuals, as I had outlined it. You spend the first month with marketing and Raj, second month with operations and Raj, third month with finance and Raj, and then you get Raj for 3 more months after that, 9 hours of coaching total with Raj in his program, the wealth mindset coaching and the implementation of a Facebook group and a funnel and getting your offer out there. And we designed this program to be $6,000, which is $1,000 a month for all of the consultants building your business with you side by side, and the coaching piece that goes along with it. Raj, your program alone is almost that, right? But we wanted to do better because of the relationship that we have with Raj and the belief that we have in the coaching space and what it can do in the world, especially right now with businesses in struggle. And I know you're not all business coaches, I get that, but the individuals all have an impact in the business world in some way. And so what we are, and besides, you're a business owner. So what we're doing for Raj's group for those first, how many, Raj? How many
15.
people? 15 people.
15 people, yeah.
Yeah, we want to give a massive investment into you by reducing the price by 50%.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. $3,000 for 6 months and for
I haven't heard of those things. And getting personalized coaching. Friends, I hope you listen to what we just said. Okay. After 6 months, you know why 6 months? Because what happens is, just to shift the mindset, it takes time. To understand all the aspects, it takes time. Most of the places where I took many courses from, what I got was a whole course which you take it at your own pace or something, but you are not getting, and once you get
accountability.
stuck, it might have been a group coaching call or something where I never got my questions answered. And I was always looking for that person who can really help me. And most of the times we don't get that. Think about it. Your business, which you invested a lot of money in getting a
Protect your
certification.
investment for sure.
Maybe it is time to realize it. Okay. Now, 6 months specifically with you, with the experts, these world top-notch experts with proven results are coming and working with you for 6 months. And the price, think about it. Once you are finished with 6 months, you will have a complete blueprint of a business that is running on all aspects, not just one: marketing, finance, everything, mindset, everything. You're well on your way to wherever you want to reach. So I'm not going to put a limit to that, wherever you want to reach. And think about it. Once you have this 6-month blueprint, it is there for you for the rest of your life. That's how powerful this is. But
And you
as
can
I said,
multiply it. You can use it for your next program and your next program.
Anything.
And you
Yes.
keep
Yes.
building it out and building it out and building it out. And yeah.
And so such a small amount of money, I'm amazed that Donna and Bill came up with the 50% discount for only our group here. And I'm grateful to you because I know people really, really need it. Really need it.
Yeah.
So friends, what I'm going to do now as we wrap up, We have given you almost everything. We will again maybe come back with more details if and as is needed. But what I would do is in our chat, once we are finishing, I'm going to put in how you can reach out to Donna. Okay, how you can reach out. I'll send a link to her, talk to her, because we just don't want an application where people just fill it in. We need to vet you out, that you are ready. You are the one who needs a difference, who will be able to make a difference, and how we can make a difference to enhance, increase your business to where you want to take it to. So that is why it has to be a call that we will be doing with you, with Donna. And you can actually book a call with her, as I'm saying, and then we go from there. But I will bring in more stuff also as we are going through, because there's so much that we are bringing.
Yeah.
And main thing is, this is not something which is to overwhelm you. This is in chunkable pieces which you can easily grasp and then act on, because that is how you get results. Chunkable piece, act on. Chunkable piece, act on. Start getting the results. And within 6 months, hopefully, you won't be able to recognize where you are now to where you would be. That's what I would say. And because I have worked with the coaches that are there, I have worked with Donna and Bill, I know how powerful this is. So any other last words for today, Donna, Bill?
For me, I just want to say, we know that what is in this program works because it has been used in our own business. What we're doing is looking for early adopters, because full transparency, this is our first iteration putting it all together. And so we want testimonials of successful entrepreneurs, successful coaches who do go through this program in return for the reduction and the reduced investment into this program. Each consultant is 100% committed to your business growth and to your specific signature offer. It took me 6 years to figure out my first signature offer. We want to take that number and reduce it so much smaller, because the world needs the world needs you right now. It needs what is within you. And with our consultants, we can help bring it out of you.
Yeah, the only thing I'll finish with is that we're really concerned about the economy, and that, whether you're coaching business people or you're coaching people not in business, this is going to be a tough time. And that right now is the right time to do this. And that's one of the things that's driving us, is how do we help people get through which could be a serious recession. And it's murder on small businesses. The people that get hurt the most in an economic downturn are all of you, all as us, small business owners. And so part of our emphasis here is, how do we get you through it?
Wonderful. Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Donna.
Thank you, Raj.
Thank
This
you,
has
Raj.
been wonderful, and I'm grateful that we have teamed up and we are bringing something which could be immensely beneficial to all the coaches and consultants that we have. Okay. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, sir.
And looking forward to working with top 15 of you. Thank you so much. Take care.
Okay.
Bye now.
Bye.
Bye.